Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to DCS World 2.8.1 and Eagle Dynamics KA-50 Black Shark 3 module. It's been a long time, hasn't it? I had a tutorial series on this aircraft way back when, actually I think probably around about the time of Black Shark 1, now that I think about it. A lot of them filmed with Dot Chuckles, which was a lot of fun. Now that Black Shark 3 has landed, I thought it'd be fun to revisit the startup and do a kind of abridged startup video on just how to get ready to fly the aircraft. Nothing much more than that. It's a bit noisy outside, so let's go ahead and close the door. There's another aircraft starting up, and I'll take you through my version of the startup procedure, which is probably not exactly the same as the training missions or the checklists, but this is enough to get you in the air in the meantime. So, first thing we're going to do is establish power to the aircraft, open the covers for battery 1 and 2, and turn on batteries 1 and 2. And enclose those covers. Next thing we want to do is turn on the intercom, because then we'll be able to hear Ekran. And then, speaking of Ekran, let's go over our right hand shoulder and let's turn on Ekran. It's a 2-position switch. You flip it down and enclose the cover. What you're going to notice is that master caution is now flashing. Click to cancel that and do a long press on the master caution. Ekran will enter self-test. And then we get Ekran ready. And then just to make sure that we're getting voice, what we can do is we can press Betty voice test.
Ekran is ready.
Ekran is ready. We can now be confident that we will get voice warnings in the event that anything is wrong. Excellent. Okay, now we turn on our fuel gauge. We turn on our standby attitude. We turn on the fire extinguishing system and close its cover. And we're going to open the APU fuel valve and turn on the forward and aft fuel pumps. We now have fuel pressure. And if we check the overhead, we'll see fuel tank pump on, forward tank pump on, sorry, and aft tank pump on. But the left and right fuel valves are currently closed. That's the left and right engines. Before we can start the engines, we need to start the APU. We're going to disengage the rotor brake just in case we forget. And with the starter switch in the APU position, we're going to press and hold start. We're going to monitor the APU exhaust here. We've got valve open, oil pressure normal, and then the last light we want to see is APU on. As soon as we have the APU on light, that means it's generating bleed air, and we can actually use it for an engine start. Let's put the starter into the left engine position, and let's turn back over here. We're going to do left engine first. I'm going to open the left engine valve. I'm going to turn on the left engine governor. And I'm going to turn on the anti-collision beacon. I'm going to look at the overhead again. I can now confirm the left-hand valve is open. I'm going to try and position myself so I can see the gauges. This is our RPM gauges for engines 1 and 2. We also have the rotor gauge here. I'm going to press and hold the start button for a couple of seconds and release. I'm going to wait until I see some movement in engine 1. Got it now. And I'm going to open the fuel valve. We're then going to see light off in just a moment. This is the exhaust temperature here. Fuel is introduced. We have light off. RPM increasing. That looks like a good start. We're just going to wait a while for that to stabilize. And we've got warnings on the Ekran about transmission oil pressure. If I tap the button, it's going to show me the next one. Yep. Left oil pressure. Tap it again. Right oil pressure. Tap it again. Main transmission oil pressure. We're back at the first one. Okay, we want to see this stabilize at around about 70%, which it has done so. So now we're going to go right fuel valve open, right governor on, starter to the right position, and we're going to repeat. Press and hold start, wait a few moments, and release. Yep, this light comes on, by the way, to say that the starter valve is open. Increasing RPM, open the fuel valve. Waiting for light off. We have light off, RPM increasing, and again, we're just going to wait for that to stabilize. It's also going to stabilise around about 70%, and we should have already had, yeah, the rotors are already turning, of course, at this stage. And that's a completed right engine start. It has stabilised. So with that done, I'm going to put the starter switch into a safe position. I usually put it into turbo gear. I'm going to hit the APU shutdown. Exhaust gas for the APU is coming down. I'm going to go ahead and close the APU valve, and then at this stage I normally close all of these covers so that we don't accidentally knock any of these switches. I'm now going to use the throttle valves. I want to make sure my collective is all the way down because bad things will happen. And I'm going to move these up 1, up 2, and now the throttles are in automatic. That was the low RPM, that was the rotor low RPM warning for a few moments there. And now it's giving us the warning electrical on battery. That's fine. We're now going to turn on the left and right generators. I'm also going to turn on all of my radios now. I'm going to arm the ejection seat. Is there anything else I want over here? I guess I can turn on my tip lights, formation lights, nav lights. Actually, that's not nav lights, that's the nav system, I think. Let me check. What was that I just turned on? Navigation system power. Cool. It's up here for the nav lights, in fact. That's them on 100%. We now put dust protection on. Down here, we're going to turn on the targeting and navigation system power switch. That's on. A bunch of our instruments come on. We're going to turn on the ABRIS, and that's going to boot up. Now, we're going to align our INS, and we have some choices about how we do this. If I just flip the INU switch just now, it will do a high-speed, low-quality alignment, which takes 3 minutes. Alternatively, I can put my control head for the INS here into operate, and then push one of the push buttons here. So I have the option to do a normal or a precision alignment if I push in one of these buttons. Normal alignment is 9 minutes initially, and then after 15 minutes it will flash and I have to unpress the button. Precision alignment by pressing this button is 12 minutes, and then after 20 minutes it will flash. I'm just going to do the abbreviated alignment, and to do that I simply flip the INU to on, and I also turn on the INU heat. And I should, once the HUD actually comes on, I'll be able to confirm that it's doing the high speed alignment, because it will simply display a message at the bottom here that it's doing that. I'm also getting a warning about invalid heading, but that's okay, that's going to be cleared eventually. Anything else that I want to switch on down here just now? I think that's all pretty good. While I'm waiting for things to power on, I'm now going to turn on the laser warning system and the countermeasures dispenser. That's them powered on now. I can confirm that by seeing lights on here. And yeah, we still have the HUD not ready light on the overhead. Going to give that a few moments and it should come on. Oh, actually, standby horizon. We're going to roll this until it uncages. That's that ready. The altitude warning system did its self-test. I'm just going to clear the warning on there and reset it. There we go. So this indication here means that we're still in the high speed alignment. Once that completes, that message will disappear and we'll get the pitch bars. I'm also going to flip the compass system into magnetic for a moment, and that should allow us to align everything. This is actually this heading looks like it might be correct already. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to put this back into gyro for now. And I'm going to turn on the weapon power, the power for the weapon system as well just now. Yep, there we go, and then we've got indications on that center panel. And let's turn on the IFF. So at this stage, basically, everything is on. Just need to wait for INS alignment and other bits and bobs to get ready. And if we hit nav on here, we'll see that the ABRIS now has a GLONASS lock and is displaying our position on the map. Let's take a quick look at the external view. You'll see that all of the lights are on. Aircraft is operating. Oh, actually, I didn't turn on the data link. We want that as well. So, data link power switch on. Selector, I'm the commander, and I'm leaving it in position number 1. And we can turn on the 3... Oh, actually, these are not working yet, because we don't have the gyros spun up. But once we have alignment, and we actually have our attitude and so on, then we'll be able to turn on the autopilot. In the meantime, I'll leave this in self-coordinates, just so I've got something on the display. And I'll turn on my signal flares. Oh, there we go. Alignment's complete. We now have the artificial horizon looking normal. So we should now be able to turn on the autopilot. That's the pitch, roll, and yaw modes. And that should actually conclude startup. That is how it's done. Now, of course, there's other mission equipment that you might want to turn on, things like the laser, arm particular weapons, and so on, but that's enough to get you ready to fly. The aircraft will be ready for a hover check at this stage. Cool. So, hope you all enjoyed that. I'll probably be doing some more videos on the Black Shark 3 at some point soon. It looks like a really nice module. Be fun to get back into it and dive into some of the new systems that we have now. I hope you all enjoyed that. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. Also, you have the option of joining Deephack's ground crew. I really appreciate those who already have done so. There's a join button on the video below if you would like to do that now. Otherwise, subscribing, liking, commenting is perfectly acceptable. Thank you all very much for your support, and I'll see you next time.